Hello. Good morning. Buenos dias. Can I have your undivided attention? Thank you, guys. This is Mrs. DePalma. She's going to talk to you about a life-changing situation. And this is part of the series that we're introducing to you guys about just how to be a little bit more careful and mindful in the world. And I'm going to let her tell her story, and I just ask that you give her your utmost attention, because this is a pretty serious topic, and I too have been a victim of some of the things that she's talking about. So I'll let Mrs. DePalma do her thing. Thank you very much.
Good morning, and thank you for being here. You guys had me worried for a minute there. A 17-year-old girl, 4 years ago, she was from Boulder, and she was driving on the wrong side of the road on prom night. She was intoxicated, and it resulted in a head-on collision. What grade were you in 4 years ago? Do you remember this happening? She actually killed an Uber driver and his passenger. 2 people died as a result of the crash. The girl pleaded guilty to 2 counts of DUI, vehicular homicide, 1 count of DUI, vehicular assault, and she was sentenced to at least 6 months in jail, plus a minimum of 2 years probation. It was from Boulder High School, and I spoke to her high school last week. I remember seeing that frightened, ruined girl from the corner of my eye in the hallway of the Boulder County Justice Center. That same day, another driver pleaded guilty to vehicular homicide and 2 counts of vehicular assault and DUI. Thank you for being here today. I wish I could say I'm going to amuse you and make you laugh, but the message you're about to hear isn't funny, and it's much more important. And I hope you'll stay with me anyway. And I bet this feels like a really long week this week. Do you have something going on this weekend? I see some royalty here. You have prom coming up? All right, right on. Where's your prom at? Do you have an after prom at your school? No? Okay. And then, no matter what you're doing this weekend, have you thought about your plan of how you're going to get home? I'm Tami DePalma, a regular mom who gave up her professional life to take on the most important job of all, being a mom. Are you guys allowed to have your phones or your Chromebooks out? Because if you are, if you would mind scanning the QR code, it's a very quick survey, and it helps actually MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, know how well who's reaching this message and how well it's being communicated. So I'll start to tell you my story, and after you enter what grade and in, there's only 3 questions, so it really is quick. So how many of you are over 16? All of you? Okay. Before you got your license, do you remember your mom hearing her complain about being your Uber? Or what I call it, your mover. And as moms, we agonize over your schedules. We wonder how you'll get everywhere you need to be. We want to get your friends everywhere they need to be, and we freak out at 10 p.m. when we realize we haven't packed tomorrow's lunches, or maybe not even your breakfasts, for that matter. Being a mom is hard. And when you add to it, some of your moms are probably working as well, and so on top of all of the things they're trying to do for you, they're trying to make sure there's food on the table, and that they even have a car to take you all these places. Being a mom is hard. We never get breaks, we don't get paid, we're on call 24/7. We never know whether we're doing a good job until maybe you get out of high school, you find your job, and maybe you find the person you'll spend the rest of your life with and start a family. Being a mom is tough work. Can we all give it up for our moms? And while we're thanking our moms, I also want to thank MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, for connecting me with Mr. Henry and asking me to speak to you today. I would also like to thank Keeper Drive, which is a pocket-sized breathalyzer that can guarantee that you never get into a car with an intoxicated driver. I have one above here. In reality, your mom loves her job. Everything she complains about, she wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. In fact, she may just be complaining because she desperately wants to make sure she doesn't drop any balls, and she does everything to give you the best life she is capable of. Your mom loves being your mom. And I might be a lot like your mom. I cheer too loudly from the sideline, I wear the wrong shoes, and I say lame things that make me sound so last year. Long before I became a mom, my husband, Gino, was a police officer and a sniper for the Jefferson County SWAT team. He was also a school resource officer. I think I saw your school resource officer on the way in. Do you guys have one? Do you know their name? Gino saw a lot during his career as a police officer. One of the worst days came very early in his career when a friend's 19-year-old son was killed by a drunk driver. Gino was so impacted by this tragic death that he dutifully accepted the plea of Kyle's mom to tour area high schools, bringing the crash car and the messages of drunk driving and how to avoid something terrible happening to you. Even though Gino and I didn't have our own kids for 10 more years, Gino was driven to do everything he could to make the roads a little bit safer for kids. As an SRO, he befriended many students, advising them through all the things that make your teenage years so challenging. He had hard talks with kids who broke laws. He provided a safe listening ear when they needed advice and encouraged them when they needed to turn things around. And one of his main jobs as an SRO was to reduce teen alcohol consumption and, most importantly, drunk driving. Oh, there we go. Once we finally had our own kids, you can imagine how repetitive we became with our messages about staying safe and making good choices. It started with, let's see, stay where you can see me. Look both ways before you cross the street. Yes, you still do have to ride in your booster seat. All of these things that parents say all the time. Once our eldest child grew up and got his license, our warnings grew up too. They got more frequent and probably more redundant and annoying, let's be honest. What are some things your parents say when you leave the house? Be safe? Yeah. Make wise choices? Oh, I got it. That was even left-handed. What else? Yeah. Say it again? Drive safely. Ooh. Maybe Lori will give it to you. What else? Keep your eyes on the road. That's a good one. This one's for you. I don't know if I can get it all the way over there. Thank you. All right, now that we have kids of our own, they hear the messages on repeat all the time. Blah, blah, blah. If your parents tell you some of the same things, possibly all of the time on repeat, there's a really good reason why. Statistics show that repetition works. You can never hear these messages enough. So what really brings me here today? My daughter is now in the 8th grade and my son went to Broomfield High School. Gino's no longer a police officer and doesn't tour the crash car. Although I'm not brave enough to tour with the crash car, I'm now the one talking to high school students about the dangers of drunk driving. Why? I'm here for my son Dominic. He was a class of 2023. If I told you about him, I imagine there would be many similarities between you and him, including getting his driver's license, working his first job, teasing his little sister, listening to music way too loud, and playing lots of video games. And if you can, you guys don't need to do it anyway. Let's see.
It's simple, really. I just go for a daily
Booty shake. That's my Dominic. He was so smart, hated studying but loved going to school because his friends. He was goofy, he was a gamer, and I feel like Dominic was a lot like you. If you sat in front of him in class, he would tweak your hair just ever so slightly. And then he would swallow his own laughter when the teacher found out and looked up because he wanted you to get in trouble, not him. If you were new to the school, he would find you, track you down, and walk you to class just so that you were comfortable. He'd be the class clown in all of your group messages. In video games, he would take you down and then tell you how bad you are, and then you would both laugh about it hysterically. He'd be the best backseat DJ you ever knew. He'd just gotten his first job at Wendy's. Do they still have the 4-for-4 menu? Yeah, and with that 4-for-4 menu in his job, he bought his first shoes, spent lots of time on StockX picking those out, and he was driving around his first car, a Honda CR-V.
It's simple, really. I just go for a daily.
Okay. And he was great at all kinds of sports. Wicked good at soccer. Where are my soccer players? Got a couple in here? Right on. When he wanted the ball, he would stomp on you to get it. He was so strategic, he knew the field like his own backyard. He knew exactly where each one of his players would be, where they might run, and exactly how to place the ball. If a game was tied with 3 minutes left, Dominic is the one you wanted to have his foot on the ball. His coaches said opponents move out of the way when Diesel is on a mission. A competitor in every sense of the word, not just in soccer, but in Xbox, basketball, even pickleball and grass volleyball if you felt like it. Now, when I first introduced myself, I told you about a girl who killed 2 people in Boulder on prom night in 2022. I remember seeing that frightened, ruined girl from the corner of my eye at the Boulder County Justice Center. On that same day, another driver pleaded guilty to vehicular homicide, 3 counts of vehicular assault, and DUI. That driver killed my son.
The Broomfield High School student who died last week in a car crash was identified today. The Boulder County Coroner's Office identified him, 17-year-old Michael DePalma, who went by Dominic. The crash happened last Thursday on Highway 287. 5 teens were in the car when it crashed with a semi. All 5 were taken to the hospital, where DePalma later died. His family posted an obituary today. They say Dominic was a passionate soccer player, and he and his mom had an unbreakable bond. They described him as a loyal friend and an exceptional older brother. His family has set up the Dominic DePalma Memorial Soccer Scholarship in his honor. The scholarship will provide access to soccer for other young adults who are just as passionate about the sport as he was.
It's been a while since I've seen that.
The Broomfield High School.
On July 28th, 2022, my 17-year-old son Dominic walked out of our front door for one of his last free nights of summer. He told me that he loved me, and when I asked what he was doing that night, he told me he would let me know after he met up with friends. And I always wonder why you guys don't do anything anymore. He texted me a little after 6 p.m. and said they were eating dinner and he would let me know more as soon as he knew what was going on. At 7:09, he got in a car with someone who wasn't one of his normal friends. 4 minutes later, at 7:13, it was still light out, it was the golden hour. It was a beautiful evening sunset. The kid he got in a car with ran a red light at Highway 287 and Dillon Road. The car spun out of control. When it came to arrest, the driver and the front seat passenger looked at each other and went, whew. They looked back in the back seat to see their 3 bloodied, mangled friends. 2 of the friends survived. They were airlifted to different area hospitals, and they fight with their physical and mental injuries ever since that crash. The 3rd friend was my son. He was taken to the hospital where he fought for 5 hours with us by his side, but his internal organs were too damaged to survive. My 17-year-old son, Dominic DePalma, was the latest victim of drunk and impaired driving. I would never see him graduate. I would never kiss him goodnight. I would never see him play another soccer game. I would never know what college he would attend, what kind of grown-up he would become, if he would become a groom. He would never become a groom, an uncle, or a dad, and I would never watch him pull away from our driveway and tell me he loves me. I missed his entire senior year, senior pictures, searching and selecting a college, senior night for his games, homecoming, prom, graduation. These were his senior pictures. Dominic is about your age when he died. He was just about to start his senior year. If he were sitting beside you today, I imagine he would be rolling his eyes as I present and saying things like, "That can't happen to me." And just like Dominic, perhaps you think the same thing. Every time Dominic left our house, he said, "I know, Mom, I'll be careful, I've got this." We believed him, and he believed him. And if you think this can't happen to you, I'm here to tell you that unfortunately, dead crashes happen like all the time, a lot more often than you think. And it can happen to you, just like it happened to Dominic. For teenagers, car crashes are the leading cause of death. Every 79 seconds, someone is injured in a drunk driving crash, and in the United States, every 39 minutes, someone dies due to drunk driving. That means in the time we've been together, somebody has already died, and by the time you get to your next class, somebody else is going to as well. 1 in 4 car crashes with teens involve underage driver. And this isn't necessarily drunk driving, but it happens to you a lot as well. It's distracted. It's called the peer effect. For every additional passenger in your car when you're a minor, your chances of getting into a wreck increase. If you have 1 passenger, your risk increases by 44%. If you had 2 passengers, that doubles your risk. And if you have 3 passengers, your risk quadruples. Every additional person in your car makes it that much more dangerous. Why am I picking on teens? You see, the teenage brain isn't fully developed. How many of you have heard your parents say that? Yeah. I'm sorry to tell you, but they're not lying. Your parents are not trying to ruin your life and take away all your fun. They want you to have the most amazing time in high school, and they want you to graduate and see what kind of adult you will become. And sometimes that means grounding you. Sometimes it's being really embarrassing when they tell you you can't go to the concert that everybody else is going to. And they shake their head when they say, no, you can't go, even though you say everyone's going. You probably don't believe me, but they do remember being 17. And it's probably quite terrifying to themselves that they survived. And what they want more than anything else in the world is for you to survive. So the legal minimum drinking age for alcohol is 21. For you, that might seem way too young, but your brain might still be developing all the way up until you're 25 or even older. Remember that crash 4 years ago? 5 adults were indicted for providing alcohol, fake IDs, hosting parties, and allowing kids to drink on the bus. There are a bunch of cool parents who will host parties for you and think that they're doing their service to you by taking your keys or your key fob to make sure you don't drive drunk. But many other things can happen. There can be sexual assaults. You can fall down the stairs. You could even light off fireworks and blow off your fingers. All of these things have happened to children of my friends since Dominic died. They're not getting it. And it's a lot to ask you to learn something that adults aren't learning, but I've seen so much change in Dominic's friends who are now in their 20s. I believe in this generation, and I think you can do better. Skip a couple. We started a little late, sorry. How much more time do I have? Okay. Oops. Okay. So let's talk about what consequences can happen if you do drink and drive. The first thing, the biggest thing that you can probably comprehend with your brain and its development is getting a DUI. Getting a DUI is terrifying. It's expensive. It will cost you at least $13,000, according to the Colorado Department of Transportation, which at that minimum wage job at Wendy's will take you about 1,000 hours just to pay for your DUI. Your parents are going to be mad. You're going to lose your car. And you're going to have all kinds of consequences, probably the most embarrassing of which might be one of your friends driving by while you're getting pulled over, taking pictures and video of you and putting it up on Snapchat. So by the time you go to school on Monday morning, everybody knows. At your age, 1 drink is a DUI. If you take nothing else home from today, remember this, 0.02% is the legal limit. That means if you have had 1 drink, you may not drive. If the person driving the car you're about to get into has had 1 drink, they should not drive. 0.02% is literally 1 drink. But what you need to know is that impairment actually begins when any amount of alcohol is consumed, especially at your age. You could hurt this, so getting a DUI is the first consequence. Second is you could hurt a stranger. That girl in Boulder, she killed 2 people. She will live with that for the rest of her life, but that will be compounded by the fact that she killed somebody close to her. You could kill a stranger like this man did. I probably will only play a very small part of this.
I just wanted a DUI suspect that was involved in an accident that could result in fatality.
Jeffrey, come on, a couple questions.
A little bit drunk.
Oh, God. Oh, God, please.
Hey, Jeffrey. Hey. Hey.
What?
Just try to relax yourself.
God, there is no relaxing. I killed somebody, dude. Oh, no. Kill me now, man. God, kill me now, dude.
That video goes on for 3 minutes of the agony he felt for killing a total stranger. Now, can you each look next to you? Look at your friend on your left. Look at your friend on your right. These are your friends. At least I think you're sitting next to your friends. Now imagine the person you kill is your friend. Or you don't come home to school Monday because that person beside you got drunk before driving you home. That's what happened in my case. And usually I don't think our brains can go that far. The boy who killed my son will live with this for the rest of his life. You do have a choice. You can make decisions to decrease the chances that this won't happen to you. Like I said earlier, do something. Rather than meet up and spend 5 hours just deciding what you're going to do, that's when we tend to get in trouble. So plan some kind of event, and it usually is fun. Like you can do axe throwing or top golf or go-karts. Do something, and then that reduces the amount of time that you can actually get yourself into trouble. And you'll actually have fun as well. Number 2, ditch your car. Your parents want nothing more than to wake up in the morning to find your car in some random field or parking lot, and you alive. In the moment, it may not seem that way. They will get mad, you'll get grounded, you'll get your car taken away. After their anger leaves their body, they will be extremely relieved that you are home and you are safe. Call your parents, call an Uber. Both Uber and Lyft now have teen Uber accounts. Carry a portable breathalyzer. There are ones that you can order on Amazon. So if you're getting a car yourself or you're getting a car somebody else who says, I'm okay to drive, you put it in their face and you say, prove it. Have a plan, know how you're getting home. People now are even not just getting into a situation and then calling Uber to get home. They're taking Uber to a place so that they can get home safely. And lie. Find a lie about how you can get home safely. Something like, my mom just texted and she's right across the corner, she's gonna come pick me up, I gotta go. Or gosh, I don't know what's wrong with my stomach, I don't feel well, I've gotta go. And even go so far as to say, it hurts so bad I might even throw up in your car. Or like, bro, your car was making noise on the way here, there's no way I'm getting in that car again, I'm gonna take a safer ride home. There are a million lies that you can tell to get out of a dangerous situation. So I'm here to tell you, go ahead and lie. Now, if you can, while I'm finishing up, if you can take the little post survey, we just want to know a little bit of what you've learned today. And once again, please scan the QR and take the quick post-presentation survey, and then we'll finish up with a promise. As we finish today, will you do something with me and for me? You'll take the pledge promise. I will make 7 statements, and you will follow up with, I promise. Okay? I promise to have a safe, fun prom night. I promise. Thank you. You just have to say I promise, I'll make it easy for you. To never drive after drinking anything. I promise. Not to get in a car with a driver who has had even one drink. One and done. I promise. To appreciate my life and my worth. I promise. To protect myself and look out for my friends. I promise. To keep my promises and ensure that this can't happen to me. That when I wear these bracelets and see these stickers to honor Dominic DePalma, high school, Broomfield High School, class of 2023, I promise. I believe you. I believe in you. Never forget, your DD will get you home. Have a fabulous weekend, and do it for Dominic D. And on your way out, we do have lots of stickers and